Hello. Let's start off by reading chat. I'm watching from France. Hello. I suggest you get a timer and a redesign honesty is key. It's not a redesign of Accord. This is a tutorial series app, which is a completely different one. It's pretty much done. We just need to add a few more features. But yeah. I did do this a few weeks ago actually. It doesn't have threads or anything, it's not as advanced. Music does seem a bit loud. Okay. So here's a demo so far. So we have guild settings here. We can rename the guild. For some reason I did put required on all of them, so we're gonna have to change that. Now this is not planned to be the finished product. Oh, this is a very long input. So it uses Tailwind CSS, it uses React, and it uses Redux. My voice is weird because I've just eaten, so Redux dev tools. Okay, so now we refresh, so here we go. We can change the state of the app, we can go back in time. That's basically Redux dev tools right there. So it's just the best Chrome extension that I know, so it's pretty good. Let's reload dev tools. Yeah, this won't be a particularly long stream. It's just showing what we've done so far. Okay, there's no... Oh, Redux, there it is. €2 from Playboy. Thank you. I think that's the biggest donation that we've got, so I don't know, I don't really have a donation count. I think we've only had 2, so thank you, but yeah, not sure what to say really. So W full. So yeah, there's a lot of Tailwind CSS classes. So I started this like 1 month ago. During this part of the... Yeah, during this. So in between last stream and this stream, I've been working on this basically. Yeah, thank you, Plague Boy. I don't really expect donations, so I don't really know what to say. And I think that's the first super chat one, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna remove required from this. Just need water. Shouldn't eat right before a stream. Yeah, so we got some new YouTube audio library music. Now, okay, so let me show you what's going on in the application first. Now, I'm going to show everything before this, so fix input styling, we need to write this down. Okay, so this is going to be the... So we're planning to make a tutorial series on YouTube to make this app. And that is the original plan. So let's show what's going on here. Now, the home page looks like this. This was the original... So I'll show the outside application first. So this was the original Discord homepage from 2018. You can view that on some archive. So it looks something like this without the particles. I just copied the text here. So we're already logged in. So these buttons do the same thing. If we want to log out, we go to this. Log in. So let's say we just make a random non-existing thing account. If we open Redux, REST call failed. So REST in this application means HTTP. So we can see what went on. So we got status 401 because this account doesn't exist. So essentially we can undo that, but it didn't change anything in the global state. If you're not familiar with Redux, this might be a bit gibberish. Basically, it's just where state is stored in one place in the application instead of in different files and classes. That's what we're using it for. Let's create an account. So the email is what has to be unique. Test. I think I already did that. Test 1. So what happened when we did that? REST call failed again. A user with the given username is already registered. Now, I need a way to display this to the user. Display errors to user. Yeah. So now we're using test 1, it just logs us in, like that. When do the user limit on echo change? I don't know, I haven't updated it since last stream because I've been working on this. But it's not a priority at the minute, so yeah. Okay, we need add close button to settings. Personally, this app, in my opinion, is much better designed than Accord. In a better framework, it's a lot better. And in my opinion, but I'm a React noob at the minute, so probably isn't the best, but we'll see. So I need to fix some of these icons. I did break them just before the stream, so we can create channels, just like that. General and D. We can type in both channels. Now, okay, that's a bug. So fix when connecting directly to channel route, it redirects to channels knee. There we go. Okay, so I have tried to mimic the Discord theme and all their styles exactly, so yeah. So we typed a message in both channels, we refresh and they load, but all messages load at once in this version because it's We haven't added lazy loading or anything. It's quite simple. We can do this. And getting this message box thing took me hours to get this to like expand vertically. So yeah. We got there eventually. Now we can invite people. So copy. I know this button is not perfectly aligned. Just leave it there. Okay, so let's open. So we're in another browser. Let's use an already existing account. Deleted user. I tried to delete this one. We can check. I thought I removed this bug, so give me a sec. Cannot convert null or undefined. Member update. Hold on a second, hold on. Now we've got Redux here, so we don't have Redux, do we? Okay, we don't have Redux dev tools. It's embarrassing. Okay, give me a sec. Let me just set up Redux dev tools. Okay, so we got a new browser here. Let me just unmute it. Now, oh, okay. Why don't you use MongoDB for the user accounts? We do use MongoDB. Discord actually, I believe they did use MongoDB at one point, but then switched to Cassandra, which is something similar. Yep. Actually, it's not similar, it's just whatever suited them. I don't know much about it. How are you? Fine, I guess. Yeah, so when we generate an invite, okay, that should not happen really, but it's not that bad. There are a few little mini bugs that we've added, unintended. They're not really bugs, they don't destroy anything, they're just unintended. Okay, I'll show the code in a minute. Tailwind CSS. We are not using Bootstrap here. We're using TypeScript. Font Awesome. React. We have a separate ambient type things, which are very helpful. They don't seem to work in these files though, but they work in the applications. Demo of the things. Here's just all the features, pretty much summed up. Okay, so let's invite this user, so localhost. Okay, we're just gonna make test2. Now, emails can be anything. It's just a tutorial series, so everything's quite simple, really. Okay, just ignore that this is lighting up, that is a known bug. So, invite code, join. Hi, so we've got test2. Okay, I've realized another bug. Oh no. So messages created. What? So when we type a message in this channel, let me install Redux DevTools. Member updated when not in guilds. Maybe user.guild IDs is not empty on leaving. Yep. Alright, this is a chat timer, by the way, to re-chat. Okay, so we want Redux DevTools. Very helpful for our project. Yeah, so basically why it took so long. Now, the reasons it's taken so long, I knew nothing or hardly anything about React, so I had to learn React from scratch, Redux from scratch, Tailwind CSS from scratch, ambient types, I had to learn ambient types. We are using a local CSS plugin, which Angular kind of has. It just makes it so that when you're in a file, if you import a CSS file inside a component, then it imports these styles for this component only. And it doesn't affect any other component. And that allows you to have really simple CSS files. So we virtually have no CSS files. We don't have that many compared to how many components there are. Because it's absolutely carried by Tailwind CSS. It basically... I'll just show an example. Just look at this shadow. It has pretty much everything you need in CSS. But you use class names instead. That's the big difference. Okay, let's read chat. Are we gonna read it? My voice might be a bit off today. Are we gonna use Redis? I've never used Redis before. But no, not really. I didn't see a use case. How old are you? 18, nearly 19. But this year has not been pleasant. I prefer last year to this year, to be honest. Because, you know, I was streaming a lot more last year, making videos, etc. I was a lot more productive last year, to be completely honest. That's one reason why you haven't been seeing that many videos or streams. So, yeah, it's been more rough recently. Anyway, let's show the components. So we're using TS. Now, why we're using TypeScript is I like to use TypeScript with large applications. Now, the thing with TypeScript in this application, we do have references. We have symbolic links in these files. I'm going to explain for like 5 minutes because I could explain for hours, to be honest. We have process.env types. They're just a bonus, really. We've got auth types. Quite irrelevant, but they're helpful. Now, the important part is WS types. So we can, on the WebSocket, when we message create, for example, so we listen to on message create, and we know that we're receiving a message from the API. So message box. So we're receiving a message from the API. And I have this big ugly file where I did put to do like fix me. This is the least pretty file, but this is where we listen to events and update the global Redux store. So on message create, we know we're getting a message from this, and then we send it to Redux, and then we push a message in the reducer. Now, if you don't know what Redux is, that's going to make no sense, but yeah, it will make sense in the tutorial series. I don't need to explain it now. Basically, we have a store as well. So the store is where, basically what Redux is, it's an object. So in the entire browser, there's just one big object that just represents the global state. So it's the global state of the application. So we have the user that's logged in. We need to store that in one place. We have if the member list is toggled, etc. Hopefully you get the point. That I have yeah. Okay, so we also have a backend. I did like rip this off from Accord. Some features in this app I did copy from Accord, like this gibberish here. I will rechat soon. So when the browser connects, we listen to all these events, etc. This will make sense in the tutorial series. We have Snowflake. Oh, I just ripped this off from Accord as well. Yeah, this is the most hard to grasp concept. Maybe I should maybe I should simplify this. We don't need process ID and worker ID, to be completely honest. Okay, so we have an incrementation. So if two Snowflake IDs, what a Snowflake ID is, to sum it up, this thing here is a Snowflake ID, so it has a like 18 digits, and it tells you when this channel, or guild in this case, was created. Guild channel. There we go. Discord clone. We're not abandoning Accord. We're not abandoning Accord, okay? We're just... Yes, it's another Discord clone. I've made two now. Feel free to bully me in chat for making two Discord clones and not just one. But we have added... I have learnt a lot from this, and it's got a better application structure than Accord did have. I'm going to write your ideas down, so... Message embeds, I think. Xeros message embeds. Yeah. Voice channels, it is missing voice channels as well. I've never added voice channels properly to a Discord clone yet. But there are libraries out there that can do that, and that is a planned feature in the full version. So let's get onto the code now, the actual repo, sorry. I am speaking a bit fast today, but that's how it's going to be. In a bit of a fast speaking mood. So we have a readme.md. All the features again, we're just repetition. So essentially we're going to have an essential version, and then we're going to have a full version. And then we're just going to have versions. We're going to have V1 to V6, just version numbers. And we're going to have something hosted on GitHub pages. We did have a demo at d/clone, but I am hosting it on developer mode, and it is a bit unstable, as you can see. But if you go to docs.d/cl and then .1, or this URL right here, I don't know why it's HTTP, but there we go. We have an attempt at making docs. I haven't added anything here at this time, but it's there. There we go. The code is here for your information. Now, I might add an MIT license for the repo. I haven't added one yet because it's incomplete. But unlike Accord, this Discord clone should be like fully open source. Okay, so cool. Okay, so for worker ID, this is what we're going to do. You see it's just a random number that we don't need. Actually, I'm going to keep it this way because it's more accurate. But I think we can simplify this generate snowflake thing. This file right here is a bit advanced. I spent an entire stream making this function. This is an Accord function, by the way. So mssince okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have pad. We're going to add a number, not a string. We're going to have num2string. Pad number and then by. We're trying to simplify this mess because I don't like it being that messy. I have been a bit perfectionist on this project. That has increased the time by 1 week, or it's actually a bit more than a week, but originally, yeah, we don't really need to explain how I went overboard. We've already explained that. So now we're just going to simplify this. So num2string 2, which means binary, I believe, base 2. I think anyway. And then we go into pad start. We're just cleaning up this and we're going to get onto the more exciting features. So by, and then 0, we just pad 0 there. So now we can just type pad. This is the number, and then we type by. So we're padding by 42. There we go. Much better. I will read chat in a sec. I need to start this timer again in a minute. Okay. Accord is yes. Okay. Yep. So Accord. Now, Accord could be a bit better. It could use Redux. It actually should use Redux. Now, it's not a problem that it uses Angular, really. It doesn't make too much of a difference. If I was to make Accord again, I'd do it this way. So, again, in like 1 year, I might say if I was to make dclone again, I'd do it a different way, but yeah, so I do change my mind a lot when it comes to that. Slice 05, pad start. Yeah, we can do that. Now, I haven't abandoned Accord. This is going to be a tutorial, like series, because I think it will do better than Accord. That's why I decided to do this. Because I thought it would be more successful than Accord, basically. Get ink. Pad. Now we can type pad, and then 12. Pretty cool. Saved a bit of lines. Maybe we can do this. So let's see what we've done. Now this is a very minor difference, but I like it when it's easier to read. 30 lines to 23, I see that as an absolute win. There we go. Okay. Yay, let's fix these bugs. Okay, so when connecting directly to a channel route, it redirects to channels at me. There's always bugs at any stage in development, pretty much. So refactor. Okay, we're doing this one. So hopefully my PC is not too loud. If you want to see the temperatures at the minute, my PC's almost 70 degrees. Yeah, it's not doing much. But when it gets really hot, it does make like a buzzing noise. You will hear it from time to time when we've got loads of VS Code things open at once. It goes bzzz. It reaches like 85 degrees when I'm playing a game. And I get worried that it won't work again because it just makes a weird smell. So it is a bit concerning. I did move to a mini ITX case. It's actually really small. And the cooling is gone. It's just it's an expensive heating device. That's my PC. Okay, so notice when we click here, we get some kind of context menu. When we try to leave our guild, you cannot leave a server you own unless you delete it. So give me a sec. So we are test 1. Can we kick test 1? You cannot. Okay, this is a bit of a bug. Originally when I made it, it wasn't a bug. Okay, when connecting directly, okay, what's this? Channel page. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very complex application. It's going to take a lot of videos to make. This is no create your own dashboard. This is like 3 to 4 times more complex to get this to work. It's nothing casual. It's going to be a big It's gonna be a lot of videos, okay? So yeah. Okay, let's fix this first. I'm kind of concerned at the minute because I'm worried about the timer going off. Oh, okay, let's see chat. What about dbots? Still online, cool. Yeah, I stopped updating dbots a while ago. It kind of got boring, to be honest, to update these Discord applications, as I wanted to like do something a bit bigger, really. Okay, so let's actually fix this bug. Channel page. Okay. Where is it? Guild page. So what happens when we connect to a hello RCL? Do you want to teach me how to script? This will be a tutorial series eventually. So when we connect, what happens is it redirects to channel at me. Okay, is this the bad code? Yep. Essentially, that is what is happening. SUI. Okay, so we're using a lot of React hooks. Our app is fully function based, really. So we're not using React classes for our React components. It's fully hooks. And hooks are quite a new feature in React. As soon as I saw them, I just wanted to like add them everywhere, so that's what I did. Okay. We don't need to log anything, we just need to... Okay. So we're ready, it sends the users. Now what is going on is... It's fetching the guilds after it's redirecting, I believe. Now we can verify that by doing this. Oh, so when we're ready, there we go. And now we've got a guild because we fetched a guild. So it's redirecting us like before the guild is available. Now this is a bad way to do things, but it does work. Does do the job. Now we want to verify if the guild is actually null. Then we want to redirect. If guild and entities. No, we're going to get the guilds. And new guilds.length. So if guild not found and the guilds have loaded, then we're going to redirect to channels at me. What? Okay. Now, if there's no guild, we're just going to return null. That will do. Let's say we... yeah, redirects to this channel. If we type 1, it returns null. Okay, we should put this after, so else if, like that. There we go. Cool. Okay, so I love your videos. Thank you. There's not that many of them, but there may be soon. It's not been that many this year. Okay, so we're gonna fix another bug. So usually when we just fix bugs, we cause a few other bugs, so we have to be a bit careful when there's no testing involved. So member updated when not in guilds. Okay, so when we leave this guild, what? Hold on. Okay. Thought I'd just fix that, but apparently not. Oh, if new guild, just plain new guild. But if we redirect, then we're not going to be able to return to this. That's the issue. Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, that works. But then when we do this... what? Okay. So, we do have a loading screen, but we want to fetch everything that we need before we start loading guilds and the page. And that will fix this bug. So load all guilds during loading page. I should say required entities, Because that's what Discord does, and that's what we're going to do. We're ripping off Discord. That's the stream. So we do have a little loading page here. Now, this loading page is used before everything is ready. So when we're just loading and fetching things from the API. So, page wrapper, where are we getting, so we're dispatching ready. Why are we typing fetch guilds? Fetch my guilds. Private route, okay. So we really shouldn't have this here. This is a bad design decision. That was a hard one to say. What? Okay, so we're gonna use dispatch, of course. And then we're gonna import ready. Maybe this is a better idea. Ready, fetch my guilds. Okay. Off, okay. And then we need to fetch these from different files. Yep, it's catching on. Oh. Cool. And then hopefully we don't need to type is ready. We don't need to send ready in private route. Maybe not even in page wrapper we don't need to do that, so let's get rid of that. So when we type use effect with just empty brackets, basically inside these brackets we put what variable it should watch. So let's say ABC. Basically it's called once, and then whenever this changes, this variable value changes. That's my understanding. Okay, it seems to function. Obviously we haven't fully implemented it yet because, okay, give me a sec. So it's fetching everything too late. Discord is very functional, needs 6 to 7 hours. We've already done it really. Why not just remake Gilded instead of Discord? We've already remade this. Clone, Discord, clone. That's Accord basically. So we've made 2 Discord clones. Both in different web frameworks. This one will be the tutorial series. Why I didn't use Accord for the tutorial series is because, so we haven't made it yet, but I'm planning to make a how-to on making this application step by step as a YouTube series. So if we look at Accord, it is quite a lot more complex and is not as up to date in its structure. So that's why I've started from scratch and learned a completely different framework. Also, React is much easier to teach and to learn. It's much simpler, basically. Less files involved in complexity. So yeah. So this is less complex than our code, basically. Now, we want to put somewhere. So we don't want to render props.children yet. Private right. So loading page, if no user, that is. We don't want no user. We want to say if, so we want the entities basically. We can do it this way, so entities. We're going to do it like this, so channels, guilds. I mean channels, we don't really do that. Channels and users, guilds and users. This is bad because the guilds can be empty when a user creates an account. It's just going to be empty. Restart with chat timer. So users.length as well. They might be empty. They might be just one actually because it loads the self user, I believe. Or they might also be empty, so yeah. We want to store whether we're ready in Redux, basically. Fetch guilds and fetch users. Okay. So on success, we say we fetch the user or all users. Now, try catch again, this is not the best code. Fix bad naming, nope. We're a bit perfectionist here to fix everything. So this right here, called when all users fetched, called when self user fetched, via ready. Okay, so this is using rest and this is using ready. Now rest is just representational state transfer. It's basically a huge word for HTTP. Just the traditional way of using an API. Just typing in, just using the internet as using an API pretty much. Yeah. Users.push payload, okay. So when we do that, we want to type fetched. We want to make sure we've fetched everything. So we're going to do it like this. I saw in a tutorial that they did it this way, so we put fetched. It's actually a course. I did take a course on this, by the way. So we have a fetched, like, property. Users, okay. Good that we have TypeScript here to save the day. Users.list. Now we're going to change that in a minute. So let's go in here and have fetched. So we're going to have list, not a for loop. So we're going to have a fetched variable. We're going to have another fetched variable. In guilds. Now we don't need messages to be loaded. All messages in all channels to be loaded. Because that's just unnecessary. We only load them when we open a channel. There we go. Channels, we don't separately fetch them. Yeah, my speaking ability is not at its best today. So, it's seen better days anyway. We're gonna have fetched. Cool. Users, guilds. Let's go and do it in guilds. So, list. Oh, there it goes again. Please teach me JavaScript. It's quite... There's a lot of tutorials out there that can do that at the minute. It's quite, yeah, quite simple to learn compared to other languages. It's one good thing with JavaScript. Hello Mirzaz. Hello Mr. Dev. Where are you for a long time? So basically, since last stream I've been making this app. It's currently got an error. What do you use for the backend? We use MongoDB. And we use Express. It's pretty much the same as Accord on the backend. Yeah. Express, MongoDB. I can show you the main files. Oh, so we have some... We have Mongoose models. We have middleware. Routes. This is what some of the routes looks like. The comments are annoying, but they will... This is a prototype, basically. So they will help me when recording it. So if you didn't know what a reducer is in Redux, we have the state. So reducers basically update the state. That's all we do. Now this isn't the traditional Redux way of doing it. We're actually using a toolkit, which is radically simpler than vanilla Redux code. I'm not a fan of vanilla Redux code, so... What's going on here? Oh. So when we fetch the guilds, now as soon as we fetch the guilds from the API, we tell that we're ready. We tell, give me a sec, this is, okay. There we go. So as soon as we've done this, we're ready to load the application. So, if no user, now we don't want that really. If no user or, we're going to do it this way. So, entities, guilds, and users. If, we're going to say all users.fetched or guilds.fetched. So if none of these are fetched, then we're going to have a loading page. What? Hold on. Oh, okay. Silly. Is the bug gone? So when we load to the guild, it goes here. When we type a random number in random guild, it redirects. It works now. Yep. So when we're not in any guild, let me delete this real quick. Chat timer. So we're not in any guilds right now. Cool. What just happened, first of all? So we left a guild. Oh, okay. So when we leave a guild, we're still in the guild, it thinks. Let me explain. So we have the user. It still thinks we're in all of these guilds. So in WS Listener, we check when we update the user from user settings. Test 12, let's change our avatar URL to a different color. So if user.guilds.length, there we go. Save. And it creates this error because it thinks we're in guilds, so it's telling all the guilds we're not in that the member is updated, and in here it's having a bit of a problem. Yep, so we don't want that really. So when we leave a guild, when a guild is deleted, we're going to keep this open. So when we guild delete, basically, we're omitting guild delete. So we also want to await. So we want to remove guilds from all member. Remove guild. That's what we're doing. So guild member. I don't know what I called it, to be honest. Oh, there's no guild member document. We're not in Accord. Okay, so user.update1. We're going to use some MongoDB magic here. We're going to use poll First of all, we're going to filter guild IDs. We're going to add the guild ID. Hold on. We're going to pull the guild ID like that. So we update all users in the guild ID, and then we pull from guild IDs, sorry. We pull that. Maybe it's the other way around. Nope. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, TypeScript is really slow. It's like 10 seconds behind in in the back end, but in the front end, React is quick to roast my coding skills. Okay, so we remove guild ID from all member guild IDs. That's what we do. Okay, so hello modern HDN Edo Dev. Mern stack for the win. Mongo Express React. Is that Next.js or something? Node.js. Yep, it is actually a Mern stack. The funny thing is, I did start with an MEN stack because I didn't know how to use React. We all had to start from somewhere, basically. Okay. We are going overtime on this stream, and my mouse is being a bit strange. Okay. So, hopefully that fixes things. We're going to delete this account. But when we delete this account, you see, it doesn't work. Deleting the user does not log out user. How are we going to manage that? So, let's just test it real quick. What? Okay, so I think we should push this first. Okay. There we go. Let's do it in that order. Now, I believe when we delete an account, I made it so that we can't log back in because I kind of locked the account, which is good. So when you delete your account, it's locked. That should be a thing. What? Test 4. Logged in, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, not sure what happened there. So now when we update it, so REST call succeeded, My mouse cannot control itself. So we send we send ready. My mouse is like 5 years old, 6 years old actually. So maybe even older. So it is suffering a bit. Yeah, so it sends us this. Chat time it. Yep, sends us this. Cool. Now, we should see that it's in no guilds at the minute. So we should be able to update this. And it updates successfully. So let me show you one of the features. Discriminator 2. It's 2 because there are 2 users with test 3. Let's verify that. db.users.find. In the database, we're going to find username is test3. Essential. That we should just count, to be honest. Count 2. There we go. This is the encrypted password and way of logging into the account. There we go. Now when we create a guild, let's do that real quick. And then we leave the guild by deleting it. We are missing one thing. Oh. My mouse does not want to work. Okay. So guild delete. The only thing we're updating in Redux is the guild. Now let's see if that actually did do it correctly. So user guild IDs. Okay, guild IDs is empty. Brilliant. That's what we want. Apologies for that. Guild IDs is empty, so but we had to refresh for that to happen. So we want to, when we guild delete, we could go through every user. So we could iterate through all the users and say user update, which is probably better code. There's different ways of doing the same thing, basically. Okay, we'll re-chat in when I've done this. So we can do this. IO. So we're going to emit to the guild ID. We're going to emit user update, and then we're going to pass in from WS API what we're sending to the browser. What we're sending to the browser, user update. So we're sending this to everyone in the guild. This is not going to work, is it? Oh, WS response. I'm being a bit of an idiot. Now the issue with this is it's only sending one user being updated. So let's just use Google to save time. Get all clients in room. I don't know what I'd do without Stack Overflow. There we go. Basically, I'll explain this in a minute. Clients does not exist. Okay. Okay, there's a better way of doing it. I've actually Googled this one before. Client IDs. So ID of client IDs, and then we type 2. Maybe it's clients. Oh, it returns a string, does it? Yeah. So we get the client. Yep. Get the ID. I don't know if this is an array or not. Object is possibly undefined. Nope, it's a set string. Okay, we can just do that. We can use an exclamation mark to say that it is not undefined. Client. We get the client, and then we say client.emit user update. User.update one, what does this return? A query. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, this returns a user. Okay, this does not return a user. Maybe it returns all users. Okay, update many. It needs to update many. It was just updating one. So emit user update. And then find. It does make me wonder if this is the best way of doing things. Because in guild delete we can just type, we can just dispatch that we've left the guild. Yeah, I think this is the best way because it will help anyone else that uses the API. Emits to this client, so we find, so we say const users. This is getting a bit of getting a bit messy, really. Quite messy. User dot. Again, we shouldn't have this code really. Okay. We're telling connected guild members that they're no longer in a guild, in that guild. So, we're going to get the index and of the guild, so user.guild-IDs.index of guild ID, and then we splice that. And then we await user.save. Now this might not be the most efficient way of doing things. Again, we're not aiming for perfection in this project, because I'd be here all day. Yeah, it's just not worth that, doing that. So splice does not exist on user document. Of course it doesn't. Guild IDs, there we go. Payload, and then we type user.guild-IDs. Now the issue here again, I will read chat once I've done this. So we do have the users, so we can type. This is updated in the object reference. So it is stored in this users array when we remove the guild. So we can just find. Nothing too inefficient, so it's not that bad. Users find. So u.id equals, and then we can get sessions. Const. Maybe we can even do this. There we go. So that just gets the user ID. I'm going to store it as a user. Now the user should exist if it's connected, ideally. So we're going to exclamation mark it. So user dot guild IDs. Okay, in disconnect we can also type this ws client dot leave all dot leave. I'm not sure if it does this automatically. Okay, that's an individual room. After we've sent this event, we can type client.leave like that. Now the client should be defined. So we just await that. And then we leave guild ID. We're gonna after this, it's a lot of code. Boom. Okay. I just got YouTube Premium. Okay. Streaming 69 minutes ago. Nice. How are you? A bit drained actually. Slightly drained, not that much though. I did want to stream this, like, some days I do set like a to-do to stream something. It differs a bit, but I found that I did have enough energy to do it today, and I did have enough time. Really, it's more of a time thing than energy. Yeah, definitely. What do you like more, React or Angular? Funnily enough, I was a big Angular fan before making this, but now I prefer React. The thing that I don't prefer with React is its CSS, how it uses CSS. So the way we've resolved that is by using a local CSS plugin. As that's basically Angular's strength, as it allows you to simplify your CSS classes. So sessions IO. Just gonna call this WS, and then we're gonna type await update members. Okay, then we're gonna type WS. How can we simplify this? Because it is a big mess. It's a lot of code. That's basically what a big mess is. Okay, so actually we don't need to find them individually. Okay, so what we do here is we get the user ID. So we got the client, we've got the user ID. We don't need all the users. Okay, so I do have a question. Is it better to iterate user.find or just find one, or just user, or just use user.find once? My dog is being loud. So we have the user ID. Now we want to get the user, so honestly, I think it is more efficient to do user.find once, I just have a feeling it is, so we're going to do it that way. Like we were doing before, basically. Spent way too much time implementing this. Apologies for that. Users, okay. Users.find user ID. Like that. And then we type. We get the index of the guild ID. And then we splice the index. And then we can get rid of this gibberish. Okay, that's a bit better. Obviously the comments will be gone. And it will look a lot nicer. Maybe we can do this. Guild IDs. There we go. Okay. Just waiting for TypeScript there. Maybe fix. Okay, so we'll update guild members. When delete guild. That's what we're trying to do. Create a guild. And delete a guild. What do we get? Are we not getting user update? Okay. Guild's deleted, so we're not getting user update anywhere. Weird. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna log this, seeing if we're doing everything right. So we get a set. Yep, that's correct. I do have a feeling that this is slower than this. because it's not indexed and ID is indexed. So we can find by ID. So we basically get the user ID. There we go. Two ways of doing it. Find one better, I think. Okay, we'll use find one. Yeah, we'll go back to find one. It is now find one just uses an index. It has the underscore ID index is the default index, which in Mongoose, and indexes are things in Mongoose that make querying or just finding documents in this case much quicker. And underscore ID, when we find by ID, it uses that. Good. That's what we want. Now we're not actually updating the user here, so that's a bit of a... Yep. Can we just extract this, update, save, await save. There we go. Well, okay. Test logout button. Let me just test the logout button so I can... Yeah, it works. Cool. Yep. So we can get that one out of the way. Cool. What? Did that actually update our user? Because we did leave a guild, did we not? Well, this guild ID is underscore ID. Where did that come from? Okay, I'm gonna make a new account. Okay. Yeah, something's not quite right with the save. I think it needs the fall object for that to work, so you can just type user.update1. Yeah, it just has an extra update query really, so guild IDs. Hi. Let's try that again. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure why it refreshed the page. Let's try that again. Okay, but first, did it work? What? No, it didn't work. Why? Cool. That did work. Is the client defined? Cool, the client is defined. Oh, we need to add the user ID here, don't we? Right? Okay. There we go. Guilds deleted. Client seems to exist. I'm not sure. That should emit user update. Client.emit guild delete, so no one else finds out about it. Huh? Okay, that's another bug. What? Please fill in this field. Okay. Is that a required field? Didn't make it required, but... Okay, so it's trying to get us... Okay, why is it required though? Yeah, it's trying to get us to fill that in, but we don't want to really. It might be required by default. What? Oh, I didn't get that. Okay. Oh, it has a required attribute? Okay. Okay, so when we delete, what is going on? So, we have a button somewhere. And on click, it deletes, but the button needs a type button. So that it doesn't actually refresh the page. Like that, it doesn't refresh it. Ah! We're getting the right payload now. But we shouldn't have member updated. Now it does... Yeah, it does still have this. One thing I just realized is in... Yeah, so... When we're getting the user, we want to set u.user.guild IDs equals undefined. So it's unnecessary to send this to everyone. Okay, I'll need to look into that one, but I'm just going to move on for now. But it should redirect anyway when we delete a guild. And then state. Okay. Bad. I think this is not the best feature in the world, to be honest. Making sure is self. I'm gonna remove that. It's kind of destructive. So we're just gonna make sure it is the self user. I didn't think of this when I made it renew. So when we user update, we're only updating ourselves, so no one else needs to know. Cool. Okay, but we don't need to is self. Member updated. Yeah. We're still gonna carry on with this code, but io.2 guild ID. So we don't want to send to everyone that we've updated the user, because they don't really need to know. User.guildIDs, nope, client. And it updates successfully. That was a lot of pain. So deleting user does not log out user. Let's try that. What does now? We can pretend we fix that. Deleting guild does not redirect. Context menu for kicking members does not show properly. Okay, I'm not going to remember what I just typed in. C2, C2. Okay, let's just invite this member. Cool. Messages work. Let's create a channel. Hi. Yep. Now, I want to see what will happen if I delete. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so if we're not the message author and we're the guild owner, we can delete other people's messages. Because we're C3, we can edit this. There we go. Let's kick C2, because C3 is the guild owner. And this should be the last feature for this stream before we update the changes. I don't think, I think after that, no one is watching. That's what usually happens. So we're going to get on with this. After that disaster. It destroyed my channel. Absolute tragedy. Okay. So now guild member menu is what we need to update before we end the stream. Is self. Yep. Can manage. Surely we should be able to manage C2. Message updated. State. Okay. That was kind of a weird bug. And now we booted him. Or her. Kick members. Fix kick members context menu. There we go. It does now. Deleting guild does not redirect. Why is that? Well, delete the guild. No, not reuse it. Guild delete, we need to redirect to WSS. Well, we have a we know why now. History.push channels at me. If guild is active, that is. Cool. So we're gonna make a new guild. Did that update for? Okay, so we're gonna refresh. We're gonna have the same setup again, but we're gonna invite this person. And then we are going to C2 is going to delete the server. Uh-oh. Guild delete. Okay, now the issue with this. The issue, it should be obvious, to be honest. Guild delete. Guild delete. Okay, so we need to actually leave the guild in the guild's reducer. So we type kind of silly. There we go. That should work now. Let's create C again. What? I don't know what happened there. Delete. Okay, to guild ID. Now the problem with this is we're leaving. No. It doesn't matter to leave anyway, so it's not that important. Because the guild doesn't exist, no events are really going to be sent there. There we go. Does it work with multiple people? We're about to find out. Brilliant. Okay, well the app is officially bug free. Almost. Okay, so I'm actually gonna end the stream here. Let's just put fix there just to. This is what we've done this stream. So we've fixed all known routes, basically, all known problems so far, apart from this icon thing. How can we fix this icon thing? Well, I'll do that offline because we're ending the stream. Now, I'm going to git push origin head. I'll show you where to find this code. This code will be free to use. It will be free to use. Unlike Accord, it will be, I think it will put an MIT license eventually, so yeah. There was a working demo here, but it's not that interesting in a minute. Now, I have spent the past month on this so far. It's not in its final form, okay? It will be used as a tutorial application, so I'm planning to make a tutorial series on how you can make this. Now, this was an older version, by the way, from like 1 or 2 weeks ago, but it just shows you what it did look like at one point. There we go. So I'm not sure exactly when the tutorial series will appear, but we do need to finish this final to-do. These bonuses maybe. We don't need to, but that's just preference really. Why did I click login? Okay, yes, Dark, this is live. Is this really live? If yes, reply to this message. Yes. You are a good programmer, thank you. Wasn't good with React until like had to learn React, not relearn, from scratch. So I'd say intermediate at that, as I did have Angular experience before. Good job. Thank you, Dark Quo. Yeah, this did take a lot of time. I did spend entire days in a row at this at some point, so this was it was not smooth. But yeah. So soon I'll make a tutorial series on how to make this, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this stream wasn't too painful, and hopefully you were excited to see the demo.